Object-oriented programming has four principles: abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and encapsulation. These can simply be abbreviated into the word API. That's an easy word for you to remember during interviews. In this video, I'm going to be talking about one of these principles, which is abstraction. Abstraction is simply hiding internal implementation details. I'm not going to spend too much time trying to explain this. Let's jump straight into the code, and I'm pretty sure you're going to understand after this example. This is a famous mail service example, and we basically have a class called mail, and it has a few methods. The first method is called send email, and this method should make sure that the email is sent, and then it prints something out like email sent. Of course, there should be more details into this, but I just didn't write them because we're not really concerned about them right now. And then we have these three methods: connect, authenticate, and disconnect. These are the methods that we're going to be focusing on. These methods are the internal implementation of this class. So in order to send an email, we have to connect the user, authenticate the user, and then disconnect the user. Now, without using abstraction, all the methods inside this class are public, meaning that anyone from outside the class can access all the four methods. Now, I don't want someone from outside the class to access these three methods because these are the internal implementation details. These are the methods that I'm using in order to send an email. That's where abstraction comes in. Abstraction, as we said, is hiding the internal implementation details. So what we do is just change the access modifier of the methods that are the internal implementation of this class. So like these three methods, as we said, are the internal implementation. So we changed them from being public to being private so that they cannot be accessed from outside the class mail. So right here, instead of making these methods public, I just made them private and I called them inside the only public method that I'm going to use in this class, which is send email. Now, when someone tries to send an email, they're going to connect, authenticate, disconnect, and then if there's anything else in this method, they're going to do it and then print out that the email is sent. So let's try to run this code and see what happens. Right now I have this class without using abstraction. I have all the methods as public, and now I'm going to try to send an email. In order to send an email, I'm going to make a new object of my class, so mail, call it my mail, for example, equal new mail. And then in order to send an email right now, I have to call all the methods, all the public methods in the class mail. So I'm going to call the connect, I'm going to call the authenticate, and I'm going to call the disconnect. And then finally, I'm going to call the send email in order to make sure that everything is sent. Let's run this and see what it gives us. Okay, so it connected, authenticated, disconnected, and it gave me the email sent notification. So right now, this is without using abstraction, meaning that anyone can access these three methods. Okay, let's try using abstraction. So we're gonna change these the access modifiers of these three methods. So right now I'm gonna make them private, and of course it's gonna give me an error here. We're gonna see why that is. So I changed the access modifier. Now I'm calling these three methods from other class. I shouldn't, because these are the internal implementation details of this class. They shouldn't be used in except in this class. So I'm just gonna comment this out. And then now I'm going to use these three methods inside the class, but in another method, which is send email, which is going to stay public in this case. So I'm going to connect first, authenticate, disconnect, and in this, after it disconnects, it's going to give me the notification that the email is sent. So now it did the same thing. It connected, authenticated, disconnected. The only difference is that I'm using abstraction, and in abstraction, no one from outside the class can access the private methods in the class that are just used for something inside this class and shouldn't be accessed by any other class. That's it. That was abstraction. I'm gonna leave the playlist for all the 4 principles in the description. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you and see you in the next video.